I move to return from executive session.
So moved.
Ms. Austin?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. And let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to start this evening by having a moment of silence for Don Bishop. Don Bishop, he passed away on Saturday, January 6th, 2024, just this, a couple weeks ago. Don's, he was a veteran. His personal dedication to veterans was not limited to the Anderson American Legion. He served on the committee that brought the Anderson Township Veterans Memorial to fruition, visited numerous elementary school classrooms to talk about patriotism, and was a board member and volunteer of the year of the Coalition to Save Hillcrest Cemetery, a resting place for Civil War veterans. In 2012, he was recognized as the Anderson Township Area Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year. In recognition of Don's service to our country and to Anderson Township, we now ask for a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. He will be missed. Okay, welcome everyone. Let's see, motion to adopt the agenda?
Second.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Presentations and recognitions. Okay, I'm getting sworn in, so that's the first thing. So, and Ken Dietz is here. Ken is going to do the honors. Ken was our fiscal officer for 24 years, something long time. So I've asked him. 28. Okay, who's counting? 28 years. Ken is going to do my ceremonial oath of office, and then we'll move on to the oath of office for all of our firefighter, paramedics, and EMTs. So.
You want to do that up by the flag?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll get out of your way.
What I would like to say to our residents, Anderson Township, this is a great township, and the reason is because of people like Dee Stone, Josh Girth, Lexi, and some of the other trustees we've had in the past, Mike Walton, Peggy Rice, Russ Jackson, Al Peter, Andrew Pappas, and look at our staff. Our administrative staff, Vicki, Steve, Suzanne, that's why we are where we are today. Our council, Margaret, the fire department, public works, the sheriff, administration, it goes down the line. For the last 25, 30 years that I've been here, that's why this township is successful. And we're going to continue that now with Dee Stone, because you've been around for a while. One of the most dedicated trustees we've ever had. And we have Josh and Lexi continuing. And I just can't say enough for the luck we have. Now, if I'm going to administer your oath of office, I have my NASCAR file here. What am I going to do? I'm going to come up there. I thought we'd have a little humor anyway, so.
Nice work.
Yeah, exactly. Now you see why I asked him. So he could say all those nice things. This is why I asked him to do the oath of office.
I'm sorry for the humor.
We appreciate it.
I would have to say this, I'm honored to administer the oath of office to you.
Thank you.
So if you will raise your right hand, I will give you the oath of office.
I,
Please
D.
state your
Stone,
name.
D. Stone,
Or D. Stone or D. Stone?
D. Stone,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
of trustee of Anderson Township,
of trustee of Anderson Township,
Hamilton County,
Hamilton County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
You're sworn in.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay, moving on. Now we will have the oath of office for our new firefighter, paramedics, and EMTs. And Brian Johnson, our current fiscal officer, will do those honors.
Well, good evening. I'd like to introduce our newest members of the fire department. We have firefighter Atwood, firefighter Crago, firefighter Kincaid, firefighter Croner, and firefighter McCarthy. These gentlemen have completed an intensive 4-week recruit class, and they've all been assigned to their respective shifts. Congratulations.
Policies and procedures of the Board of Township Trustees, Anderson Township, Board of Township Trustees, Anderson Township, and to ethically and faithfully discharge the duties of my office. Congratulations.
Congrats. Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Okay, this is always one of the favorite things we do, is welcoming our new people. They work hard, they went through a lot to get here, and they're already serving, so thank you, welcome aboard, we're happy to have you. So, at this time, family members, you do not have to sit through the rest of this meeting. You are more than welcome to leave. You know, we do not care. You will not offend us.
We get it.
Good job, Dee.
Thank
Way to
you.
clear out the room.
Yes.
Great. Thank you all for coming. Nick, you can go home too. You do not need, that's my son. It's like, you do not need to stay either. I'm giving you permission.
See you, Nick.
Bye. Okay, now, public forum. So the rest of you, Individuals who wish to address the board should state their name and address for the record, make their points as clearly and concisely as possible, and limit their comments to a maximum of 3 minutes, which may not be shared with or yielded to others. All comments shall be directed to the Board of Township Trustees. Thank you in advance for your comments. So, does anybody wish to address the board? Come on up, state your name.
And your address.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow. Lori Kirstein. And did you need my address
yes.
as well? 810 Seaton Avenue.
Okay.
Okay. So listen, when COVID hit, we got even worse at connecting with each other, right? It affected so much. It affected the speed at which things would come to manufacturing. It affected the ways that we looked at the world. I used to live in California for like 11 years, and when I came back, I felt that Cincinnati thing. I felt that connection. I could talk to people, and they would smile at me, and they would talk with me. And when I went to Coney, it was like, oh my God, this is the community. This is here. That's what this is. This is where the kids learn to swim. This is where people don't talk about politics, and instead talk about what a hot day it is and how great it is to get rained on by water. And when I heard that this had happened without any notice, without any vote, without anything, I want to cry. Because it seems to me that taking Coney away summarily like this, it's pulling away at the foundation of our Midwestern interactions. It's what defines us. This kind of thing, and it's going away at the edges. So if there is anything that we can do, there's so much room out there. If there's anything we can do to coexist with yet one more place to listen to music where we can't talk to each other, all we can do is sit and listen. That would be my preference, and I think that by taking away cool water and a place to vacation for those of us who don't have the money to vacation, you may end up with bigger problems. When heat causes anger, if you don't have an outlet, it's a problem, and it grows. So those are my thoughts, and I thank you very, very much for holding this hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Anyone else? Kevin?
Kevin Mishak, 8433 Holiday Hills Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45255. Congratulations, Ms. Stone.
Thank you.
Actually, I take a little different perspective. I am also sad to see Coney Island go. But I actually want to congratulate people like Vicki, Paul, and Steve on their efforts of the township to attract $110 million worth of investment in this community. To give the owners of the property at Coney Island the opportunity to come out on the other side of a business that was slowly but surely going under for them, all right? Without the planning and the foresight of this township, that sale would have just been a bankrupt property closed in this community within a few years, all right? And instead, we can look forward to additional activities, all right? It's not every day that somebody wants to come into your township and drop $110 million in development, all right? And that's going to provide a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities, a lot of new memories for those in the community, for the younger people in this community, and it's given that opportunity going forward. And I relish that. I look forward to it. Thank you for all your efforts on planning and zoning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Anyone else? Yep.
Hi, I'm Natalie Crystal. I live on 6240 Beechcrest Place, Cincinnati, Ohio. I actually agree with both of you. I think that there's room for a new venue and to preserve Coney Island and the history that we've created. And so I would like to propose to all of you and to CSO that, you know, if they could reach out to the community, we could find a win-win solution. We could stick we could have our history preserved. I mean, the Sunlight Pool, I grew up going to Sunlight Pool. My grandparents actually met down there. And it's just, I get emotional thinking about it. As I'm sure you guys have all heard, lots of emotion. And I just believe that there's room for all of it. There's plenty of land there, and I was really saddened that there wasn't an outreach to the community, because yes, they might have been losing money, but had we known about it, we could do some charity concerts, some benefits. Like, there are so many ways that we could raise money. I know that CSO has done that in the past with Music Hall. They've seen Music Hall go under, had to do plenty of reconstruction there, and they were able to save millions of dollars and make that happen, because this city cares about our history. We are a proud city, just like we were saying earlier. It's sorry, just makes me very emotional.
okay.
And I actually found this, and I was wondering if it was possible for us to enact an ordinance to save Coney Island, to make it a historic landmark.
Okay, thank you.
Still got 54 seconds. So those are my 2 cents. I think that there's room for Coney and MEMI CSO to bring more money, more events into the city, and I would love the opportunity for the community to work together to do that. Oh yeah, Coney Island was built established in 1886. It's a year older than the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And the Sunlight Pool is older than Mount Rushmore. It's about the same age as the Statue of Liberty. And I think, it is a historic landmark. It deserves to be saved. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, come on, come on up.
Hi. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight. I actually came for the firefighters to watch Joe Craigo get inducted, so I'm super excited about that. He's my neighbor. But I, too, am so emotionally attached to Coney.
Can you let us know your name, please?
Colleen Vogelsang, 6874 Burhaven Lane.
Thanks, Colleen.
I've taught swim lessons down there for probably the last 28 years. There's so many people in the community and outside the community that use it. They've pretty much said everything I'd like to say. I know it was a private sale and that there's not a whole lot that can be done about it. But if that's the case, then where are we going to go in this community that we can take our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and our infants and have such a great time? When I think about that, Coney Island, you could go down there with your grandmother if she's wheeling in or whatever, and you have an infant playing in the pool and everybody's happy. I mean, everybody's smiling and spending time together. And I honestly can't think of another place like that. So if we can't save Coney, which I'm all about saving Coney, like I said, Coney's my life. Concrete kills memories. That's the way I feel about it. But if we can't, if there's no way to get our Coney back, then is there some other plan and action that you can bring the community together where all ages and all generations can participate and come together and enjoy our community? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yep.
Teresa Corbett, my name, 1608 Del Terrace, Mount Washington. Okay, now I don't have really a lot to say, but I grew up at Coney. My parents, my grandparents, and before Katie, or who just talked before, I taught lessons down there way before she did, and I brought up my girls at Coney Island and stuff, and Coney to me is just like you'll take away our summer. I think that goes for a lot of people. It's just a very historic landmark, and you know, how many music venues do we need, really? I mean, we can share, you know, and that's really all I got to say. And I know you from uptown.
Possibly.
You from the eyeglasses place?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like your daughter was good friends with my niece,
Okay.
Nikki Holtkamp.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming.
I'm Becky Strand. I'm Mount Washington, 6249 Dawes. I'm merely a swimmer. I love to swim. When I was little, I remember going to Coney and just being in awe of the size of the pool and how much fun it was. And now I'm 60, and I go to the pool a lot during the summer, and I'm still in awe of this beautiful pool and how big it is. I can swim laps. I bring my friends. We play in the typhoon area. We go down the slides. To me, it just represents what the sign is. You grow old when you stop playing. I just love Coney, and I'm just heartbroken when I heard of the sale. I too hope that there is some, even though it's a private entity, I hope that there's some way that you can influence this and keep this for us. I was telling some people here, I was reading on the internet in New York City, they're building a pool for $16 million that looks like Coney. So I can't believe that we're gonna, I think we're gonna fill that in. That's all I have to say, and I just ask of you to help us figure out a way to save it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, well, we appreciate, oh, yeah, please.
I wasn't going to, I wasn't planning on it, but Judy Selzer, 525 Constitution Square. So I've been teaching swimming over 50 years, and these little kids need a place to learn to swim. So there's not drownings, because every summer there's drownings all over. But Coney teaches a lot of kids to swim. All our pools in the township are at max. There's a waiting list for 3 and 4 and 6 years to get into these pools. There's no place else to swim. Coney doesn't just draw from Anderson Township, but they draw from Sharonville, from Deer Park, from Kentucky, from Indiana. People come from all over. People come down from Columbus to swim at Coney. It has the history that keeps the interest up, but the swimming and the older people that live alone, that their friends are dying off, and they don't have that community and that communication anymore, they can go to Coney, and even if they don't get in the pool, they have friends and they can socialize all day long. And what I worry about is, what are those people going to do? And where are our kids going to learn to swim so that they can save their life? Because, you know, the parents can't teach their kids to swim. They need swim instructors. But the instructors have to have pool availability. And if every pool in the township is filled and has a waiting list, there's nowhere for anybody to go. And that's a crime, that's going to happen. And so I don't understand, or I'm hoping that we can come to some kind of working relationship that we can have both. I have a daughter that doesn't have children, and all she does is travel around the country to go to music venues. And I can tell you, even though she grew up at Coney, because I raised my kids there, taught swim lessons there, raised my grandkids there, she can't wait for a bigger music venue, and I understand it. But that doesn't service the children or the seniors. And I think we need that. We need a place that everybody can go, like Colleen said, old and young alike, watch their kids, their grandkids, and have fun together and be at peace. Our kids are more and more on their instruments, and if they don't have a place to go let out that energy, what are they going to do? they're just going to be doing that more and more, and I think we'll have more and more problems and more disconnect in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, then we will close public comments. Thank you all. I appreciate that you came and spoke and represented, so. Trustee comments.
Have anything specific, except I do want to thank you all for coming and very eloquently expressing your emotions, your sentiments. I understand how it is to have a connection to a place or a landmark that you really can't put into words, and so you're hearing another venue or opportunities related to that. It almost probably salts the wound because what you have there, the memories, is priceless. So I can appreciate that. I appreciate you all taking the time to express your feelings about it, and I do empathize with how it is very difficult, and it's evoking emotions in you, which is evoking emotions in me, and that connection. It's the place, but also the memories, the people, people starting their relationships there. So I do thank you all for taking the time to share your feelings.
Well said. I'll read the more formal statement that we prepared, which is that, as we've said, we put out a press release about it, that this Board of Township Trustees does not have any authority to prevent Coney Island or Sunlight Pool from closing, and that decision does rest within the purview of the owners of the property and the businesses. And so things like designating historical is just something we just do not have the power to do. Something else to remind everybody is that of the entire property, less than half of it actually resides in Anderson Township. The pool is in Anderson Township. I think all of us were shocked. I think I can speak for everybody up on this dais that we were all shocked at this news. We had no idea that it was coming. And as someone who grew up in Anderson Township and has been to Sunlight Pool, 100 times, yes, it's kind of shocking. You've been going there how long?
I'm older than you, okay?
But it is shocking. We were surprised by the news. But I will tell you that while we don't have any authority over this, and we certainly don't have any authority to prevent businesses from doing what they're doing, I wish the family of Coney would have given a heads up and explained what was going on or why they're doing it. And to your point, maybe something could have happened, but we don't really know the answer. None of us really know the answer. So was it financial? Was it something else? We just simply don't know. But I do think, based on a conversation we've had with the symphony, that just trying to understand, hey, what's going to happen. And while we don't know the plans, they have told us they will keep us informed as much as they can. I don't think they have a full plan yet. And I do believe that they are going to try and keep as much of the historical reverence that's down there today. I don't know what that is, but I know they are sincere about trying to keep as much of that intact as possible, because it is historic. So there may not be a lot of assurance to you guys that showed up tonight, but I think we're hopeful that there is going to be some pretty cool things down there that honor the history of Sunlight Pool and Coney Island.
Well said, both of you. I really have nothing else to add, except that, as Josh said, we were as shocked as you were. So, and
Maybe we should meet with those people.
that would be up to the CSO. If you can arrange a meeting with them, more power to you, really. But, that's, yeah, so. Because I know, and just so you know, the emails that people have been sending to us, we have forwarded every single one of those to the CSO, as I understand. We have forwarded everything we've received. they have also received, even if you didn't copy them. So they know. So, okay. Well,
Do they ever get back with you? Do they ever respond to you?
well, yeah. So, okay, any other comments, trustees, on a different issue?
No.
Okay.
Going forward, what's the process to getting something in place for historical things? I mean, if this is happening now, I mean, I know the city of Cincinnati has things in place, which is where Moonlight Gardens is.
Correct.
Fortunately, the pool is in Anderson, and why don't we have anything in
Because
place?
we're a township.
Vicky,
Yeah.
you
And
are.
I'm
Go
happy
ahead. Yeah,
to,
please.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to speak
Yeah.
with you after the meeting. If you'd like, I can give you some information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
The city has powers that we don't have. That's the simple answer. So, okay. Okay, moving on. Thank you all. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Yep,
We
thank you.
appreciate hearing from you. Brian, fiscal officer.
Okay, you have the December 31st financials in your packet. You'll remember last meeting, we made several changes to estimated revenue and appropriations, so those are reflected in here. We're in the process of submitting this year-end information to the Auditor of State's office. We have also sent the 2024 estimated resources and 2024 temporary appropriations to the county. So those will be in the next meeting's financial reports. And then we also have the October 19th minutes.
I'd move to approve the minutes from October 19th, 2023.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Ms. Brown.
Okay. Margaret, anything?
No report.
Okay. Let's see, Rick's not, finance, no, fire rescue, planning and zoning.
Good evening. The first item under our department is an update to the committee commitment resolution. Back in 2021, the board passed or approved a resolution helping to define anticipated committee commitment. I keep saying that in my mind,
Well,
so a
it's
committee
not tongue
commitment. To at least all of our volunteers to help guide them, on our committees. With the restructuring of our committees for 2024, staff was recommending modifying the resolution, updating it. Two items primarily. Instead of listing the committees individually, because some of them are going away and being replaced by other committees, just saying non-statutory committees. And then the second item is to reference just adopted comprehensive plan instead of the actual year, since that plan is regularly updated every 5 years.
Thank you.
So there's a motion for your consideration.
Thank you. I move to adopt the motion to approve the updated policy for defining anticipated commitment for Anderson Township Citizen Volunteer Committee members.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you. The second item is to set a public hearing for Case 1, 2024 Anderson. This involves the property addresses of 1303, 1291, 1279, and 1267 8 Mile Road. A month ago, you heard a future land use change for this particular property. The applicant is now going through with the zone change for the property to request a zone change from C, single family, to DD, plain multifamily. So there is a motion to set a public hearing for this case at the February 15th meeting.
I move to set a motion for a public hearing for Thursday, February 15th, 2024 at 5:30 PM at the Anderson Center, 7850 5 Mile Road, Anderson Township, Ohio, for the purpose of hearing case number 1-2024 A and D.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks for doing that.
Okay, Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Lang.
good.
There was a request to transfer their liquor license for, it's the BP station at 7380 Beachmont. The proprietor came in this afternoon, or right before the meeting, and said he had just gotten a letter. He did not have time to fill out the questionnaire, so he was instructed to go ahead and fill it out, forward it on, and then it would just be put on a future meeting. So that's all I have.
So we don't have to take any action?
Nothing today.
So then we'll just vote,
Okay.
we'll do it next.
Okay.
We can inform the state that we need an extra time to get that into them, because we usually have 30 days to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Back at town, he's aware.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works, Eric.
Okay, this evening we have our annual 2023 annual road report. We were required by section 4501.04 of the Ohio Revised Code to submit a copy of our road inventory to Hamilton County Engineer's Office on an annual basis. This report must contain a mileage verification along with a condition report for our entire road inventory. At the beginning of last year, we had, excuse me, 122.052 miles of township roads. There were no changes or additions of subdivision roads in 2023, so that number remains unchanged. Thus, the total township mileage is 122.052 miles as of 12/31 of 23. And there is a motion for your consideration for that.
I move to certify the 2023 annual road mileage is submitted by the Ohio Department of Transportation and the Hamilton County Engineers Office and is kept on file in the Township Public Works Department and Fiscal Office.
Second.
Mrs. Luston?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hopefully you won't have to be plowing those roads tonight.
Well,
Is it snowing tonight? Yes, we'll be out tonight. Will you? Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
way to go, Dee.
Yeah, I just cursed it.
I thought it was supposed to start at like 12:30 this afternoon. So.
Yeah, I know it was. Okay, Township Administrator, Vicki.
Yes, the first two items, I'm going to ask Mr. Severs to cover A, B, and E. We've had a late addition, so we're kind of out of order a little bit.
Okay.
Good evening, and thank you for the late addition. But first of all, on items A and B, we have a couple projects we've been working on. These are consistent with our Anderson Trails plan. So particularly excited. The first one is the ability to add rectangular rapid flashing beacons. And essentially what these are the push buttons at crosswalks that flash to let motorists know when there's a pedestrian there. We have 4 locations coming out of our Anderson Trails plan, and the county has instructed us the process now, it's changed several times over the years, is to enter into a joint agreement with them for the installation of those. Those locations would be on Hunley Road at the 5 Mile Trail Bridge, on Little Dry Run at Wilson Elementary, on Lawyer Road at Concord Green, and then on Clough Pike at Tall Pines in that area. So those are 4 locations. I'm sorry, on 8 Mile Road at Little Harbor is the 4th location at this point in time. So if the board's supportive of that, there are resolutions before you for consideration, and we will begin to hopefully install those this spring.
So are those the ones like on Salem?
The ones like on Salem and Clough Pike at Julius Park.
Okay, push the button and.
Yeah, around a lot of the schools.
Sometimes they flash all by themselves.
Sometimes they do. And
I
then we
thought
have
that
somebody
they-
that inspects them and gets them fixed. So yes.
Steve, I have a question. You know, where I've seen them, not necessarily around in this area, but there's a sign that says "Still take caution," just because sometimes I notice that people, because it's a crosswalk, just start to proceed.
Correct,
And with the expectation, yes, everyone, when there's a crosswalk, everyone should be on guard and driving slower, but you still want to make sure that traffic is clear before you start in the crosswalk, even with the lights. And I'm wondering if we could, I've seen where there's a sign that says, yes, there's a flashing light, but still take caution, because I just get worried that there's a false sense of security. If there's a vehicle approaching, even with the flashing light, I would wait till that vehicle clears and then proceed, because I'm excited about this, but I don't want it to be where.
No, it's a great suggestion. We constantly remind folks of that. They often think that they have the
Or
right
put
of
it in
way
insights
in
or
the crosswalks,
something.
and we have done that. But I think the addition of signs in those locations, we have those where we have the flag program. such as around Wilson. We tried, the sign actually there says stop, and it gives them guidance. So a reminder of that if they're pushing the button or waiting at those crossings is one more line. We do get that quite a bit. People are saying cars aren't stopping, and we're saying they don't have to stop. You should not, and you'll always lose the war. Even if you have the right, you'll lose the war.
And we want everyone to be vigilant.
Yes.
And the flashing lights really helps with that. But you also want to make sure the scene is safe and then proceed to cross. Thanks, Steve.
We try to do that each year in Anderson Insights, but the sign right at those locations would be helpful too. We can look into that.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a resolution.
Yes. I move to adopt the resolution approving and authorizing execution and delivery of agreement with Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners regarding installation of rectangular rapid flashing beacons at various locations within the township.
Second.
Mrs. Austin?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the second item actually is the next step up the food chain from a flashing beacon to an actual pedestrian hybrid beacon. What this is proposed at Clough Pike and Indo Valley, to my knowledge, would be the first basically stoplight for pedestrians in the unincorporated area in Hamilton County. So this would be a situation where it actually would flash yellow and then go to red, and vehicles would stop. So this is the safest mechanism at a very high volume crosswalk, one we've been talking about for years. So we're thrilled to bring this project forward. This is a project that is funded halfway by ODOT funds, and if it's successful, we're also looking at doing one of these on Beachmont near Vole, and I'll touch on that here in just a minute. So like I said, we're excited to bring this forward. This would not be like 50 West. This would be a stoplight, and cars would have to stop.
That's exciting. Yeah, okay.
I adopt a resolution authorizing LPA Federal ODOT LET project agreement with respect to Clough Pike and Indo Valley Drive crosswalk project.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Okay, and you're doing E too? Are we going on to E? Are you doing E also? Yeah, let's just go to E.
We'll move forward on E, and speaking of which, this is the third one, so this is Vole Road. You have a proposal before you for final sidewalk engineering on Vole Road. This would be in conjunction with a community development block grant funding that we have received for the project, and ultimately this will lead to the aforementioned crosswalk system that we plan to put on Beachmont Avenue in the next year or two. So this is a kind of a precursor to that. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Appreciate you adding this because these funds need to be allocated by July 1st, so we're on a quick timeline to get this moving forward.
I move to authorize the township engineer. I move to authorize the township administrator to enter into contract with Choice One Engineering following review by the law director for final engineering of a new sidewalk along Bull Road, utilizing 1994 TIF funds for which construction would be paid for with CDBG funds.
Second. Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Yes, we have two items remaining. The first is a resolution which would adopt a revised ethics policy. The state of Ohio obviously has ethics rules, guidelines for all elected officials and township employees to follow. But in 2013, we had an employee-led committee that chose to go above and beyond what the ethics statutes require, created our own township ethics policy. Part of that policy involved a panel of employees, one from each department, that other employees could ask questions of. If something came up about a particular gift or item that was being proposed to be delivered to an employee, the ethics panel could decide whether or not that was acceptable within not only the Ohio ethics law, but also within the township's ethics policy. When the policy was originally written, like I said, there was one representative from each department, which included the fiscal office. Since the Ohio General Assembly has split the fiscal officer and his employees off from being directly under the Board of Township Trustees, it's no longer appropriate to have a fiscal office representative on that particular panel. However, the board last year did authorize the creation of a finance department, and therefore I would like to have the board consider this revised policy, which would include the finance department. In addition, when the policy was written, it was written in such a way that we could only have one management level employee on the committee. With the finance department being a one-person show, with that person being a department head, it kind of precludes any other department heads from participating or rotating through on the ethics panel. So I'm asking that that provision be removed as well, so it allows one representative from each department, and the board will make annual appointments. So at some point, if you decide that it's, you want to change up the leadership on the ethics panel, that is within your control. So the first I have is the resolution that would approve the revised policy, and the second item is a motion that would appoint 2024 representatives to the ethics panel.
I move to adopt a resolution approving and adopting the Anderson Township ethics policy as revised this date.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
And I move to appoint Betty Cowan, Administration, Tammy Disk, Finance, and David Brown, Fire and Rescue, to the Anderson Township Ethics Panel for 2-year terms, beginning January 19th, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2025. The board further recognizes that Eric Lugenbuehl, Public Works, and Sarah Donovan, Planning and Zoning, will continue their terms of service on the Anderson Township Ethics Panel until December 31st, 2024.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all we have for the board this evening.
Okay, our next regular monthly board meeting will be February 15th. The executive session starts at 5 o'clock. The open session, as you see in this room, will be at 5:30. If you have any questions, you can call the township or visit our website. And with that, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Mrs. Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thanks.